This is Breaking News Now from today's TMJ4.
Breaking news, Hurricane Irma bearing down on the Florida Keys right now. The Category 4 storm regained strength overnight, could gain a little more as it approaches Florida. In Miami, video shows flooded streets and tree branches scattered on the ground. Irma brings heavy rain to the Sunshine State. Millions have been forced to leave their homes. Meanwhile, preparations for Hurricane Irma continuing to be made along Florida's Atlantic coast. In Jacksonville Beach, houses are boarded up to protect against damaging winds, which are expected to gust there at least 70 miles per hour. The outer bands of Hurricane Irma are battering Florida right now. This morning, meteorologist Josh Worster has been tracking Irma overnight. Josh, which area do you think will get a direct hit?
Well, Julia, the first direct hit, I think, will come to the Florida Keys within the next couple of hours as Hurricane Irma continues to make its way northward as it's left Cuba since last night. Here's a look at the satellite picture. You see those bright reds. That's the intense eye wall of the storm, the most potent part, again, centered right around that eye just towards the south of Key West right now. The good news, if you watch the eye, it's kind of wobbling a little bit. Right now, it's at a Category 4 storm with kind of this wobble effect to the eye. It will have a hard time strengthening, and actually the forecast is for this to weaken ever so slightly as it makes its way through the Keys and then up towards Fort Myers, but it will still be a major hurricane as it makes its second landfall around the Florida Peninsula. Again, last night took that northwest turn off of Cuba. This is where it entered water, which is between 85 and 90 degrees. That is prime conditions for hurricanes to strengthen. Here is the track. It goes through the Keys as a Category 4 storm this morning. By 2 o'clock, we're still towards the south of Fort Myers. Here's Naples, if you're familiar with the area. Just knocking on the door of Naples right now, but you can see the intense rain, the intense winds in advance of that, which that's the eye of the storm. It continues Category 4 strength up towards Fort Myers and then weakens to a Category 3 as it makes its way towards Tampa. This will be by Monday morning at 2 p.m. as it goes all the way north towards the Florida-Georgia line. Now, there is some question, does this storm in fact even make a second landfall? There is a chance that it stays over the water. Here's the latest track, and again, some of those models may keep it over the Gulf. The fact here is that even if it stays over the Gulf, huge impacts will be felt through Florida. Keep in mind, if we stay off the coastline by about 10 to 15 miles, the eye itself is about 50 miles wide. So we'll talk more about the impacts that Florida is expecting all throughout the morning and also look at your local forecast coming up in a few minutes as well, Julia.
Josh, thank you. You may understand why officials say at this point now it's just too late to escape the storm. People who chose to ride it out right now are told to take shelter where they need to get away from windows. Jay Gray has the latest from Naples.
Violent winds and driving rain. Irma's assault begins hours before landfall.
Hurricane Irma is now impacting our state. Millions of Floridians will see major hurricane impacts with deadly storm surge and life-threatening winds.
Oh my God!
18 million or more could feel the effects of this massive storm. Winds gusting well over 100 miles an hour, 12 inches of rain or more in some areas, and a storm surge that could reach 15 feet.
This is a deadly major storm, and our state has never seen anything like it.
More than 6 million residents were told to evacuate, the largest effort in U.S. history.
It's just scary. I've never been through anything like this before.
Tens of thousands moving into more than 300 shelters across the state.
But right now, the desperation sets in. The anxiety levels flare up. Just one person, you're a great guy.
As Irma begins to move in. Jay Gray, NBC News, Naples, Florida.
And before it took aim on Florida, Hurricane Irma battered Cuba badly, made landfall on the north central coast as a Category 5 storm. Before losing strength, it collapsed buildings you see here, downed power lines, flooded streets. Hurricane killed at least 23 people in the Caribbean. Irma hammered a string of northern Caribbean island nations. In Tortola, the largest of the British Virgin Islands, the homeowner said fierce winds blew out the window of his home. See it there? Irma destroyed 4 of the most solid government buildings nearby in St. Martin. You're looking at the last flight right here out of Tampa. It left just last night from Tampa International Airport. Before it closed ahead of Hurricane Irma's arrival, the airport posted a video on Twitter saying Godspeed Florida and friends. A spokeswoman says that Irma moves through. An assessment is going to be done to figure out when they can reopen everything. Miami and Orlando have also closed their airports. Some Milwaukeeans rushed back from Florida in the nick of time just yesterday, while others didn't make it out and are going to just have to ride out the storm. Hugs and smiles awaited hundreds at the end of Mitchell International Concourse as passengers arrive on the last flight from Orlando to Milwaukee before Hurricane Irma takes its course. Chelsea Krieger and her fiancé were down in Tampa helping their friends prepare for the direct hit. They were supposed to stay until Monday.
As it kept coming more west, I was like, all right, we're going home.
The agent at the counter said people were coming and just buying tickets anywhere.
Yeah.
Whatever was available before the 5 o'clock.
While millions in southern Florida attempt to make their escape, UW-Milwaukee student Kyle Paulo is in Orlando bracing to ride out the storm.
The hotel has a policy that you can't leave your room, obviously, because there's going to be 80, 100-mile-an-hour winds. So we're just going to be sitting in here watching the Packers.
Disney World announced they're going to shut down their amusement park for the next 2 days. This will be just the 5th time they've ever had to close for a hurricane. A lot of businesses doing their part, giving a portion of sales to organizations helping with relief efforts like the Red Cross. More than 25 local Red Cross volunteers are in Florida right now. They helped set up safe emergency housing for families there. And today, 2 local Salvation Army chaplains are going to head to Texas. At about 1 o'clock, they're going to provide emotional and spiritual support. They plan to do the same in Florida after Irma. Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie will anchor a special edition of Sunday Today from New York with Lester Holt in Miami beginning at 7 o'clock this morning. NBC News will continue to do wall-to-wall coverage of Hurricane Irma throughout the day today. Coming up on Live at Daybreak, Mexico is now moving forward after a massive 8.1 earthquake there, the sad discovery that they just made. And a sign of strength, months after a terrorist attack killed 22 people outside an arena in Manchester, how thousands of people celebrated the reopening.
Welcome back. Here's a live look this morning in West Palm Beach. You see some very gusty winds there. You take a look at those palm trees just whipping in the wind. Now, right now, the strong hurricane force winds are on the Atlantic side of the state, so Miami and West Palm Beach. But I think through the future, through the next couple of hours here, the focus shifting towards the Gulf side, Fort Myers down towards Naples and Marco Island. Right now, these are wind gusts, 43, 44 miles an hour. These are typical tropical storm force winds. The winds around the eye of the hurricane right now are 130 miles per hour. So here's the future wind gusts. By 8 o'clock this morning, so in the next couple of hours, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds on the front side of this hurricane. Here's this afternoon. 100 miles per hour in Sanibel, 91 miles in Punta Gorda, as well as Fort Myers. This little break that you're seeing right there, that would be the eye of the hurricane as it makes its way over land. Then the big issue after this storm passes will be the storm surge. You notice strong winds from the southwest. What that will do is take water from the Gulf and continue to just pile it up on land as we go all the way into Monday afternoon, Monday evening. So after this storm passes, a huge threat towards the Gulf side of the state, towards southwest Florida. Storm surge estimates from Tampa down to Fort Myers, 5 to 10 feet. 10 to 15 from the tip of Florida up towards Fort Myers. This is on top of that's already taking into account the elevation above sea level, which is only a few feet across most of southwest Florida. It's pretty flat. So what will that look like? This will become ocean as we look at that storm surge, kind of the worst case scenario set up by the National Hurricane Center there. So we'll take a look at some more threats here, but first we'll take a look at your local forecast coming up at about 5:15, Julia.
Really putting into perspective for us, Josh, thank you so much. Emergency crews in Mexico have recovered the body of a police officer buried in the rubble at Thursday night's earthquake. At least 90 people have died as a result of this powerful 8.1 quake we've just learned. The officer's body was found as people in southern Mexico mourned the dead. More than half of the earthquake's victims died in this one city. The arena in England, where 22 people died after an Ariana Grande concert, reopened for the first time since that terrorist attack. 14,000 people attended a benefit concert celebrating the reopening. The Manchester Arena was closed following the May 22nd attack. The We Are Manchester concert raised money to help build a permanent memorial for all the victims. 5:12 this Sunday morning. Much more still to come on Live at Daybreak. Thanks for waking up with us. With Irma bearing down on Florida, it's easy to forget about Texas. Coming up, how one brave dive team saved thousands in the aftermath of Harvey, including one of their own. And meteorologist Josh Worster is next with your full 7-day forecast. He's also tracking Hurricane Irma's path. As we take a live look at South Florida, you can see those palm trees really taking the brunt of the wind right now. You know, I was looking at all of the people getting ready for the power to put it back on, because about 9 million people.
Yeah.
Our population in Wisconsin is 5.7 million. 9 million people could be without power in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Winds right now around this Category 4 storm are 130 miles per hour. I mean, that's something that you can't really grasp, you know, unless you're in it.
Right.
And we'll continue to track this. As you can see, made its way last night along the coast of Cuba. Now has begun that north to northwest turn. It's the one that we've been watching for days on end. The question was not whether this storm was going to turn. The question was where this storm was going to turn. Was it going to go up the Miami side? Was it going to go up the Fort Myers side? Obviously now it's very apparent it's going to head towards Fort Myers and Naples. In the next couple of hours here, crossing the Florida Keys, likely as a Category 4 storm that's a major hurricane, and then continue to make its way northward towards Naples and Fort Myers as a Category 4 storm. As you can see, the intense winds, the range is wrapping in beyond that. This is 5 o'clock, so I think we'll talk about landfall near Fort Myers about 5 o'clock this evening as it continues to make its way northward towards Tampa, still as a Category 3 storm heading into Monday morning, and this thing just isn't going to quit. As it heads towards the Florida-Georgia line, still a Category 3 before weakening to a Category 1 as it makes its way further inland and then weakening into a tropical depression into portions of central Mississippi. So again, models keeping it very compact right along the Florida coast here, some of them keeping it out over the ocean, some of them bringing it in over the land. At this point, it doesn't matter. It'll be close enough, even if it stays over the water, close enough to shore where hurricane force winds will impact Naples, will impact Tampa, and will impact Fort Myers. Here's the radar picture right now. Again, here's the eye wall. So as this continues to lift up towards the north, again, if this part of the storm stays over the water, that's fine. This part of the storm will still make its way over those communities again.